Hey everyone, you're watching Izzy in Christ. It's been a few weeks since I've made a video. I just wasn't feeling very well. I got sick for a while and was losing my voice. And I've been going through a lot of turmoil lately. This video is titled, My Walk with God is a Work in Progress, because I'm actually going through some things right now. Some of you already know that I'm dealing with a lot of financial turmoil right now. It's just been one heck of a crazy roller coaster these past few weeks, this past month, I'll say, because now we're like on the 7th or 8th of February. I don't even know what day it is anymore. I think it's the 8th or the 9th. Yeah, so I just thought I would bring everybody up to date and let you know what is going on in my life. I know I left a testimony not too long ago about having gotten a job. The thing is, I thought I had gotten the job. The people made it seem like I had gotten the job. They wasted a month of my time. And I don't know, I personally think it's really in poor taste that companies do that. You will have somebody come in for the interview, have them do a job shadow, have them fill out all this information, personal information, and then on top of that, you're just not going to give them the job. I honestly don't understand why companies do that. And I just think it's wrong and unfair to do that to somebody. So I just honestly wanted to share that even though I'm upset, the Lord is good. And the reason I say that is because He knows what plans He has for us. I've been in a very strange place recently, and I can understand why in a situation like the one I just went through, why people would doubt their faith, why people would doubt God. I was not too long ago in a strange place doubting, that God wanted me to prosper. But part of me knew that it was the enemy telling me that. I know he was whispering in my ear and telling me that, see, if God wanted you to prosper, why would He make you go through all of that and then all of a sudden you don't have the job? What's that about? If He really loves you and He wants to see you prosper, shouldn't you have the job by now? Shouldn't you be making the money that you thought you'd be making? Now look, you're probably going to lose your apartment. You're going to lose the power is going to get cut off in your apartment. All these things are going to happen to you, and because God didn't want you to have that job. See, He doesn't care. The enemy's going to do that to you. He's going to make you think these horrible, horrible things about God. The truth is, only God understands why certain things like this happen, and we might not always understand. Anyway, I was confused. And the one thing that made me realize that it was the enemy and not God saying these horrible things, that I was going to lose my apartment and all this, was that God is not the author of confusion. As I said before, He has a reason why these things are happening. I know this is happening for a reason. I don't understand. I'm not going to pretend I understand everything that, God is doing and why He allows things to happen. I see this as an experience where God wants me to grow somewhere, wants something. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going on. I don't know what He's doing. But I see this as a time for me to grow. In what way He wants me to grow, I don't know. Other than, me going in my faith. But I'm not really seeing. And I mean, this is just to let you know that I'm being real here, that, I'm just, genuinely human. I'm not doing anything special or perfect in my life. I'm not a perfect Christian. There's no such thing as a perfect Christian. Nobody has the answers. I mean, that's why God says, I think it's in Jeremiah chapter 11, that His thoughts and His ways are above ours, because we don't always understand why He does things. Maybe this is just a slight detour. I don't know, in His plan for my life. Anyway, I was really upset for the last week or so. I'm still kind of upset even now. I'm trying to keep it together, and I mean, I know the only one that's helping me keep it together is God right now. Because even though I was upset, I've been upset, I am still upset. I've been crying out, and I continue to cry out. And I guess that's basically my message in this video as well, that if you're going through something right now, if you're struggling with something right now, cry out to God. Cry out to Him. He wants you to do that. In this situation, I asked for clarity. I asked Him, what does He want me to do? What is it He wants me to see right now? What am I doing wrong? Is there something I'm doing wrong that I need to understand? Because I don't understand. And I know that He's not the author of confusion. He's not trying to cause confusion in my life. I know He's going to make this clear to me right now. And I know if you're going through something right now, I know that at times it feels desperate, and it's just like, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you letting this happen in my life? Believe me, I asked those questions too. I was really, really upset. And it's not the prettiest thing to see me behave that way. I wasn't calm in any of it. I guess you could say I was in a state of panic. I was panicking. I am still panicking somewhat. But a part of me does feel assured knowing He's going to make this all make sense. And He's going to resolve everything. So, I was worried about my rent, my bills, my survival, my overall survival. Right now I'm at a point where I can't really fathom how I'm going to survive this and how I'm going to afford all of this, because the bills keep rolling in. And when the month ends, the rent's going to be due again. I got to pay for it. How am I going to pay for it if I continue being in this financial turmoil? And for me, I've noticed that this is a constant thing for me, like where the enemy keeps on putting these situations in my life, because I refuse to believe it's God who's doing it. I don't think it's Him. I think the enemy keeps on creating these obstacles in my life to make me doubt, to make me depressed, to make me think that God doesn't care about me, when I know He does. And if this is something that you're regularly going through, then, I also ask that you would do the same thing. Pray against it. I'm going to continue praying about it because my hope is in the Lord. And He has proven Himself over and over again. The last financial miracles that He's been doing in my life, it just goes to show that He is watching over me. Oh, by the way, there was another one recently that He did. I didn't have time to do a video that week. That was a very busy week for me at work, and just billion other things were going on in my life at that point too. He provided in ways for me financially that I didn't expect that were going to happen, and it was incredible. I think I'll make another video about it. I don't know, but just briefly, I could just tell you that I was blessed randomly with $100 from these two ladies at church. It was supposed to. I don't celebrate Christmas, but it was a Christmas gift from both of them. And I did not expect that I was going to end up in a situation where I was going to have to pay for something that I wasn't going to be able to afford. And I was able to afford it because those ladies gave me that miracle money. And I call it miracle money because I didn't expect that I was going to get it. I've been praying for financial miracles. Boom. That's where it came from. When I least expected it. That's the thing about miracles. We don't normally expect them to happen. They're unexpected. So anyway, this past Sunday I went to church because in my stress and in my confusion and in my frustration, even though I was feeling this anger, I was almost, I guess you could say, I was angry at God. It's like, how could you let this happen? I couldn't fathom it at that point in time. I was just too upset. I was too frustrated. I was too, I was just feeling just a whirlwind of emotions in this mess I was dealing with. But I bit the bullet, so to speak, and I went to church. And I said, you know what, honestly, I'm going to continue praying. I'm going to continue talking to the Lord. Maybe there's something He wants me to see here that I'm not seeing, I'm not understanding. Maybe this, and I can't think for a minute, that it's not the enemy that's telling me not to go to church. I said, no, even though I'm tired, I want to go to church this morning. So I went to church, and that Sunday, my pastor preached about King Jehoshaphat. I never say his name properly, from 2 Chronicles. He was the king of Judah, and his kingdom was about to be invaded by, I think it was 3 or 4 other kingdoms, and he was panicking. He was in a state of panic. And, it reminded me of my situation and what kind of a state of panic I'm in. And it's interesting because my pastor preached in his message that it's normal to panic when things get scary. It's human nature. But in these states of panic, we need to be calling out to God when we're scared. He mentioned prayer, and he mentioned crying out to God being important. And these are all things I've done already. I was thinking in my head as he was preaching. I was like, I've already done that. What else am I supposed to do? I thought, okay, I guess maybe I'm supposed to wait. I don't know. But this is taking a while, and I got to pay the rent. How am I going to do this? So, yeah, he mentioned that, and then he also mentioned fasting. And I was like, okay. Because King Jehoshaphat told all of Judah, and everybody from every town came and cried out to the Lord, and they all also fasted. So it wasn't just King Jehoshaphat. So I think that maybe at this point in time, that's when God was telling me, you need to fast. Pray and fast as well. Because this is a terrible, difficult situation that you've been fighting with for a long time. And it's recurring, just like you mentioned. Because, I've noticed this is a trend. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but this is a trend with me. I'm just constantly going through a problem. Like, it'll get better, and then it'll go back to being the situation where, like, I'm struggling financially all over again. And it just gets ridiculous. And at times it just feels like I'm never going to get out of this mess. It's never going to stop. But I refuse to think that that's a normal thing. I know that there are seasons of poverty in our lives, but it shouldn't be to the point where you're struggling to survive. Where literally you're going to be threatened of having your home taken away because you're so poor at that moment. So, I think this was definitely the Lord telling me you need to start praying and fasting. Now, here's the interesting thing. For like the past few months, I don't even know how far back. I think since even before Christmas of last year, I've been praying about learning how to fast, because I have been learning on YouTube from other channels and other people, like some of my friends, the importance of fasting. This is another area in where I need to grow, because I have never fasted in my life. I have never really understood its purpose. So that being said, I don't know how to fast. I've never done it before. I know that this is an area this is something I need to understand. But from what I understand, from what I've heard anyway, it's really something you do when it's a prayer of desperation, when you're going through a very desperate time. And I think my situation right now pretty much qualifies for it. So I think this, maybe this is his answer. Maybe this is the Lord telling me that now's the time he wants me to learn. I guess it's very timely for that to happen. I do have faith that this difficult situation is going to turn around. I don't know when. I don't know how it's going to happen. I know I need to stop doubting. I know that I need to keep praying. I know that I need to trust him. This Saturday at my church, they're going to have a prayer and fasting, like a morning meeting, or I don't even know what to call it, like a morning session of prayer and fasting. And, I've never really gone to those, because they have those fairly regularly. I just never really understood what they were really about, and what the importance of it is. At least I never really understood. So I'm going to go this time, and, hopefully I will see what it's all about, But I will say this too, I need your prayers as well. If you're watching this right now and, you know, you've also known what it's like to be poor, you know what it's like to not have money, I ask that you please pray for me, that the Lord will turn this around, that He'll help me to stop doubting, because I know He wants me to prosper. I know the enemy's whispering in my ear and telling me that He doesn't care or whatever, but I know that that's not true. I know that that's a lie. And if you're also going through something right now and you're thinking that God doesn't care about you and He's laughing at you, or, you know, that's not God. That's the enemy telling you God doesn't care. He does care. Think about this for a minute. Do you really think He'd come out of His glory as a man, as a lowly man, to die for you in the horrific way that He died, and then He wouldn't help you in your like such a minuscule need as finances or whatever it is that you're going through? And I'm not trying to belittle your situation, whatever it is. But why would He come here, die like that, and then not think about your need? If you really want to compare apples to oranges here, you really want to compare something like that, saving your soul from an eternity in hell, why would He not try to rescue you from your current situation? Just something to think about. And I know it's easier said than done when you're in a difficult situation. Trust me, I'm also preaching to myself when I say this. I'm also dealing with this, and this is not easy, and it's not easy to deal with this. And I just honestly ask that you please just think about that. That He thought you were worthy enough to die for. And not just a regular death, like a bullet to the head. Death is horrible, but the way He died, He thought you were worthy enough for that. So what really makes you think He would not think you're worthy enough to save from whatever situation you're dealing with? Please keep that in mind. Anyway, I said everything I needed to say about this, and I hope that, you know, something I've said in this is going to inspire you and is going to change the way you think about God, and it's going to help you to stop doubting. And, you know, if this will encourage you to pray, I hope that it did. I hope that this blesses you. And, yeah, that's all I have to say. Anyway, there's going to be more videos in the near future, and, yeah, God bless. I'll see you guys in the next one.